Welcome back to AA Cuboid. Today I am going to be showing you how to solve the 3x3x2 cuboid. So let's get started. So for this cuboid there are three names: the 3x3x2 cuboid, the 2x3x3 cuboid, and the Domino Cuboid. So for this cuboid you might have red instead of pink. So sometimes you can have pink or red. So if you have pink, that's okay. If you have red, it's the same thing. You can just imagine pink as red. And if you have red, you don't need to imagine anything. So let's get on with the color scheme. So the color scheme, you need to hold white on the bottom and yellow on the top. Any color can be on the front because you don't know when you have your scrambled cuboid. So if you hold yellow on the top and green on front, the color scheme goes like this: green, then orange, then blue, and then last you will have pink or red. And then there will be white on the bottom and yellow on the top. So white and bottom will be opposite, green and blue will be opposite, or orange and pink will be opposite, or orange and red will be opposite. So let's get on with the next thing, the movements of this cube. So the movements are pretty easy. They are same as the 3x3 but a little different. So if you are turning the right layer, so the right, left, middle, S, back or front layer, you will only be able to turn it 180 degrees. So front, so this will be F, but you can't turn F. You cannot turn F. So if you try to make F look like it can turn, then you can pop your cuboid or break it. Same for all the other sides that I told you about, but the U layer and the D layer you can turn 180 degrees and 90 degrees. So let's get on with the movements now. So the movements are R. So there's no R prime, there's only R. However you turn it, it will still be called R. So R, L, F, B, M, S, and the U layer you will have to learn some movements for the U layer. The U layer, so U goes towards your left and U prime goes towards your right, and U2 goes 180 degrees, and D goes towards your right, D prime goes towards your left, and D2 just goes 180 degrees just like the U layer. So now let's get on with solving the cuboid. So in the first step you'll have two parts for step 1. So in step 1 you'll have step 1A and step 1B. So for step 1, solve the bottom layer. You'll have to make the cross, then insert the corner pieces. And for step 2, make the top layer. Solve the top layer. You'll have to permute the corners and then permute the edges. So now let's actually get on with solving the cube. First I'll scramble my cuboid. I don't have any official scrambles of this, so I'm just going to scramble it randomly. Okay, I scrambled it now. So now the first step, your scrambled cuboid. Take your scrambled cuboid, hold white on the bottom and yellow on the top for the color scheme to be right. So I'm going to use a 3x3 to show you the color scheme. So yellow on top, and we can say blue on front or green on front. So then you'll find, so we are doing white, so we'll make sure to remember yellow. that's on top. So we'll tilt the cube a little bit, so the 3x3, and see that white is at the bottom and green is at your front. So you can see green is at your front now. So I rotated the cube because green you can just rotate and solve. So then beside green comes yellow. So you can solve yellow right here. And then we have blue. So then blue you have to take it out of the slot. You can just do 180 degrees and then insert into the back. Blue solved. And then pink, but it can be red also. So now we can get this 3x3 out of the way and we can continue with the solve. So for the next step, you will have to insert the corner pieces. So find a white corner in the top layer and then find its slot that it needs to go over. Put it on top of its slot and do the formula R, U prime, R. So there you go, your corner is solved. Sometimes you might not find any white corners on the top layer. That's okay, they may be in the wrong slots. So you can actually just take out the corner piece with the same formula. With your formula R, U prime, R. And then you can find the correct slot. It's right here, and then you can do the formula R, U prime, R. Then you'll have a white corner on the top. Find its slot and do the formula once again R, U prime, R. And then for the last corner piece R, U prime, R. So there you go, you have your first layer solved. Halfway through. Step 2, solve the top layer. So there are 2 steps in the top layer. Permute the corners. You can have 2 possibilities, adjacent or diagonal. And permute the edges. You can have 9 possibilities. So that's a lot of possibilities. So first we'll get on with the adjacent swap. So I'll just recreate the adjacent swap here. So you have your adjacent swap right here. You hold the pieces that are solved on your left. So then the pieces that are solved on your left. Don't worry about the edges, they can be in any position. So just hold the 2 solved corners on your left. And then the 2 unsolved corners, for that you'll have to do the formula R, U prime, R, and then rotate the cube towards your left. And then do the formula R, U prime, R, U, R. And then your corners will be solved. There's one more possibility that you can get, that is the the diagonal swap, where 2 corners need to swap diagonally instead of adjacently. So this time instead you will have to do a different formula that's pretty easy. So for the adjacent swap that I told you the formula, you can actually just do the formula, do the formula again. So I'll actually just show you the formula. Hold it from any angle this time because the corners are adjacent from each other. And make sure that white is still on the bottom. And then do your formula R, U prime, R. Rotate the cube towards your left. R, U prime, R, U, R. And there you go. Now you have the adjacent swap. Now you can just do U2, do the formula again. R, U prime, R. Rotate the cube towards your left and do the formula R, U prime, R, U, R. Okay, let's move on to the edges. So this is the last step of solving your cuboid. So let me just recreate the first case. It is the UA permutation. So the UA goes like this. So you'll have to hold your solved pieces on your left. Your solved pieces of 3 pieces. So if you find 3 pieces, hold them on your left. And then you have 3 edges to swap around. So then for the UA permutation, it goes from front to the back, from the back to the right, from the right to the front. So it's a 3 cycle, so it makes like a U shape. That makes like a U kind of shape. So then for this formula, you need to hold the solved pieces on your right, on your left, the big bar that you have like this, and then do the formula R, U prime R, U prime R, U2 R, U2 R, U prime R, U prime R, U2 R, and then you will have to do some turns at the end to fix the top layer. So that's one case. The next case is it's similar to that, but instead you'll still have to hold the solved pieces that you found this time. This is the UB permutation. So you'll have to hold you'll have to hold your 3 solved pieces on your left, the same as before. But this time it doesn't go from the front that the previous cycle. It actually goes from the back to the front to the right to the back. So it also makes a U cycle. So they both are the same cycle, but you need to learn to recognize them. So for the UA, you'll have opposite colors on the front, and for the UB, you'll have opposite colors at the back. So then you'll have to do the formula with your big block of pieces solved on your left, and then you can do the formula R U prime R U2 R U2 R U prime R U R U2 R, and then there you go. You'll have to do some U-turns at the end. And then next case we have the H case. So here you have no corners solved, you have no edges solved this time. You just have to swap the edges diagonally. So like that and like that. So for this one, instead of doing just like R moves and U moves, you'll have to do middle layer turn. So the middle layer turns that I explained at the beginning of the video, if you forgot them, please go and watch the beginning. So then for this formula, you can hold it from any angle, but white still at the bottom, and then do the formula M U prime M U2 M U prime M, and then there you go, your cuboid is solved. There's one more case that you'll need to learn, and that can be possible on a 3x3. That is the Z case. So these two need to swap and these two need to swap. For this one you cannot hold it from any angle. You'll have to hold the 2 pieces that you need to swap on your left and the bottom and the front, and then on the back and the right. So that's the way you'll have to hold this one. And then from there you can do the formula R U prime R U2 R U prime R U R U prime R U2 R U prime R, and then you'll have to do some U-turns at the end. And then there's some more cases that you need to learn. These are the ones that are not possible on the 3x3. They are only possible on a 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, 10x10, 12x12, 14x14, any odd layer cube. And this is not an odd layer cube, but it's still possible on this one. So this is the ADJ swap. So this is the ADJ swap. So the ADJ permutation, or we call it the adjacent permutation. So your two pieces need to swap adjacent to each other, and two big blocks are solved at the back instead of only one that you have for the U-perms. So then for this one, you'll have to hold the two solved blocks on your left and on your back. And then here you have two adjacent that you need to swap, and then you need to swap with the formula R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, R, U2, R, U prime, R, U prime, R. And then here you go, your cuboid is solved. There's one more, there's four more cases that you need to learn. This is one of them where you again have two blocks solved, but in a different orientation. Instead of them being next to each other, they're opposite to each other. So this is the OPP permutation. So for this, two edges need to swap diagonal from each other. So you can hold this. You'll have to hold it from with the two blocks solved opposite to each other, so on your left and your right, not on the front and back. So if you do the formula here, you will get the H case, but if you hold it from here, you can get your solved cuboid. So this one, for this one's formula, you have R, U2, R, U2, R. And that's a really short formula. That's the smallest formula in the last layer that you'll need to learn. So then there are three more cases that you'll need to learn. So the next case is the U-A permutation. 1 second, let me actually just make it. Okay, so now I'll make it. So the UA so this is not the UA, it will not be called like that. This is actually the OA permutation instead of like UA or any other one. So then I'm just going to recreate the formula. So this is the UA permutation. So you can hold this from any angle, but make sure that white is still on the bottom. And then this goes from your front to the left, back, right, front. So it's just like a O shape. See, I can make an O with it. So now we'll do the formula. So you hold it from any orientation and do the formula R, U, R, U2, R, U, R, U prime, R, U, R, U2, R, U, R, R, U prime this time, R, U2, R, and then your cuboid is solved. Then you'll have two more cases that you'll need to learn, and the next case is the OB permutation. So then here we have the case. Let me just recreate it. One second. Almost done. So this is the UA. So here's the OB. So the OB, instead of it going this way, it actually goes the opposite way. So it's the front to the right to the back to the left to the front. So it's that way instead of like the front to the left to the back to the right and then to the front. It's not like that instead this time. So you can again hold this from any orientation, but white still at the bottom, and then do the formula R, U prime, R, U2, R, U prime, R, U, U R, U prime R, U2 R, U R, U2 R, and then you'll have to do your U-turns. And then we have the last edge case. That's the W case. I don't know why they called it the W, because I don't think so it makes any W pattern. So here you'll have to learn a new move, that's wide R. So this time wide R means turn the R layer plus the middle layer. So that's wide R. So R plus the middle layer. So wide R. So wide R goes like this. So this time the formula has wide R moves plus M moves. So the formula is R, U, M, U, R, U prime, M, U prime, R, wide R. And then you will have your cuboid. So make sure to like, subscribe and comment.